new student in the college here. Just have a few points to make first before I just ask you a question. Now, you said that it's our vote and it's our choice on what we decide in Lisbon. Well, we already did vote and we voted no, and you're actually making us vote again, so I don't know. And as well, at the first part of Lisbon, when we voted in Lisbon first, our government actually said that we had the best deal we could possibly get. But here we are again, say with, in their words, we have a better deal. And even you agreed that it's going to have a commissioner for each state. And if we didn't vote no the first time, you wouldn't have, Sweden wouldn't have that, or any other member state wouldn't have that. But and as well, you said it's easier to manage in a bigger house, but in a bigger house, not everyone wants to watch the same TV channel. So on to my question now. Back in 2005, France and Holland rejected an EU constitution by a margin of 12% and 23% respectively, after which an unofficial committee, the ACED, was set up to condense his constitution to just 20% of the original text. How do you call it democratic? Well, these countries' parliaments are ratifying this treaty very much against the will of their people.
First of all, of course it is up to Ireland to decide whether you wanted to vote again, whether this was realistic at all. Nobody can force Ireland to vote again. And I think what happened was, of course, in the political process, when all the other member states had advanced so much, they said, if we can understand your concerns, and if we can try to clarify or rectify or help to deal with your concerns, we are willing to test that and to try that. Can we make it clearer that the concerns you had about defense or abortion and all the things that were very prominent in the debate, if we can clarify those things and help you, would you be willing then again to look at it? But of course Ireland could have said also, no, this is the end of the whole thing. But politically, I can understand that since so many of the other member states would be affected by your decision, that there was a decision to try again and to see if you could deal with the concerns. And that was what happened. The other leaders would sit down and look at how you could do it. So you have the legal guarantees, you have of course the whole issue of a commissioner per member state. And that was that is a solution. And that's what I mean. A no is an answer, but I think in every member state, if you have a referendum, you will also want to understand why did people say no? Or why did they vote yes? And I understand also national issues. You've had several referenda that have been repeated because it is a democratic process as well. It is about learning and understanding. And I think when it comes to what was the constitution, a constitutional text, the way it was changed was the most important things went out of that text, because those were the most important things, that were the symbolic things and the things that made it, and the word leads the thought, as you know. In Sweden, anything that would have been called federal would never fly. So it is important also the language or the symbols or the things that are important to people, and that is why it was changed. But it's a democratic responsibility of every member state to decide in what way will we take a decision. You have your constitution, and this says also that you should have a referendum. In many other member states, they would say this is typically an issue, a legal text that we place in front of our national parliamentarians, because that's the job that they have normally. But they are also accountable. And if they cannot defend it in front of their voters, it will be democratically impossible, or they will be voted out the next time. So this is also, of course, democratically legitimate to have your national parliaments take decisions. So this is sort of the long answer to a very valid question, because I think this is what forms the discussion here very much at the moment. Why do we have to vote once more? Well, because the leaders in Europe, and I followed the debates, They tried to understand what were your concerns. They created legal guarantees. No, it will not change your neutrality. No, it is not affected. Your decisions on abortion is your own decisions. No, it is not right to say that, well, I've seen all kinds of fantastic statements. And that has now been sorted out, and you are given legal guarantees that you will decide yourselves on that.